Hi everyone, it's Kate here, and today we are going to be putting a gluten-free chocolate cake to the test. So for many of you who don't know me, because I am new to YouTube, I was recently diagnosed with celiac. It has been 1 year, and it is still a learning curve for me. So we kind of had a situation come up with wedding plans, and the lady who is supposed to make our cake has flaked out on us. Not surprised though, but I have been making gluten-free cakes to attempt to make my own wedding cake. This one is going to be a bit different. We are making a chocolate cake, which is not a traditional wedding cake, but that's okay. We're just trying to figure out what recipes work and see what my fiance and I like the most. So we tried a vanilla gluten-free cake. It was all right. We did work out like mousse fillings, and those turned out, and the icing on top worked, but today we're gonna be trying chocolate cake. So come on and let's get baking. All right, so for this one, I am going to be wearing an apron, of course. I'm gonna be wearing this one my younger sister Grace got me. It is so cute and it is so neat. So we're gonna be wearing this one. I did rip a hole in it on accident, so I had to like flip it over and kind of make my own little seam here, but it is so cute, and I gotta like step back so you can kind of see that. Hopefully you can see that. Let me get you at a different angle. This is, so it's like this like canvas. There's these cute little pinstripes on it, and then the bottom is so cute, like little pockets, and it's so cute. So I love it, and I wear this when I bake because it's just so fun. Okay, so I will be walking you guys through like ingredients and how much, and I'll leave a link to the lady's cookbook. I don't even remember her name. Let me find out what her name is and what the recipe is called, but from my understanding, it is just a gluten-free chocolate cake that she makes. I'm just gonna put my hair up like that and we'll get started. All right, so first we're gonna start with a large bowl. I'm just using this KitchenAid glass bowl so that way you guys can see. First, we're gonna get our granulated sugar. So I have that here, and we're gonna use 1 cup and 3/4 cup of sugar. That's a lot of sugar. All right, so for the next one, we're gonna be putting in 3/4 cup of cocoa powder. The recipe calls for Dutch processed cocoa powder, but I'm just gonna be using this Hershey's cocoa powder. And once again, that's 3/4 of a cup. And then we're gonna do 2 cups of gluten-free flour. The recipe calls for Bob's Red Mill, and that is exactly what I'm using. All right, so next we're gonna do our baking soda. We need 1.5 teaspoons of this. And then we're gonna get out our baking powder, and we're gonna do 2 full teaspoons of baking powder. All right, so now that we have added all of our dry ingredients, we're just gonna take a little whisk and whisk it all together until it's all incorporated and looks one color, one solid color, no streaks or anything. And this is kind of why I use a clear bowl, because you can tell that there's still some white streaks in there. So this just makes sure it's all incorporated in. All right, I got everything that we need for the wet ingredients, and I have all of my liquid measuring cups. We are gonna use the biggest one just to combine it all, because we'll whisk it together before we add it with the dry ones. So this is gonna be the bowl we use, and I'll try to show you that. All right, first up, we're gonna be using our vegetable oil, and we need 3/4 cup of this. So I'm just gonna get low and.
Alright, we have our 3/4 cup, and I'm just going to be adding it in to this one.
Next, we're gonna use our vanilla, and we are doing 2 teaspoons of vanilla. So we're just gonna eyeball it. 1. Hopefully that's like 2 teaspoons worth, I don't know. So this next part calls for flaxseed meal. So I'm gonna use that. I thought it was also needing eggs, but it doesn't. And we're gonna kind of make our own sort of egg substitute. So I got this little measuring kitchen conversions thing, and we need 9 tablespoons of water. And if I look at this, 8 tablespoons is half a cup. So we're gonna do half a cup of water in here, and then we'll just add a tablespoon. And then to that, we're going to add 3 tablespoons of flaxseed meal. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, I added in the water. It looks very interesting right now. So that was half a cup plus a tablespoon. And now we're gonna be adding in 3 tablespoons of the flaxseed meal. And I'm using half a tablespoon, so we're gonna put 6 of these in here. Let's see if I can get it open. Okay, so next, her recipe calls for 1 cup of oat milk. I don't use oat milk or almond milk. I just use whole milk. So that's what we're gonna do. It says that you can use it interchangeably, and we're gonna put that to the test. So we're just gonna do 1 cup. Okay, so the next part of her recipe, she uses coffee, and I am not a coffee drinker. I don't have any coffee supplies or anything. So I Googled what I could do to replace that, and Google told me I could do hot water, I could do milk. We already have both those things in there. So I saw hot chocolate. So we're gonna try that. We're gonna do hot chocolate. Just a half a cup of coffee, and I'm gonna do a half a cup of hot cocoa. So we're gonna see if it works. All right, so here is my fresh hot cocoa. We're gonna do 1/2 of a cup. And I forgot to like measure the water. That's why I'm pouring it back into here. I'm just like, I was making hot cocoa. Okay, so there's half a cup. And then this is gonna go in here, and we're gonna whisk this one together as well. So all the wet ingredients will be well combined. Let me grab one of those. All right, and then this is what it's gonna look like. We're just gonna whisk it all together until it's well combined. Okay, so I realized I kind of made an oopsies. I was supposed to not pour in the hot cocoa or coffee, whatever you're doing, until the end, but did that wrong. So we're just gonna lock this baby into place, and we're just gonna slowly pour in the mixture, and hopefully it all works out. Seriously, it is so smooth looking. I gotta show you this. Like, oh my goodness, look how smooth that is. It looks beautiful. So now what we're gonna do is we are going to be getting our cake pans ready. All right, so they turned out very good. They are just sitting right here. Now we bake them for 30 minutes at 350 degrees. I'm just waiting for my oven to preheat because I forgot to do that. And then we'll pop them in and come back in 30 minutes when they're finished baking. All right, guys, the cakes did get baked. I baked them for 35 minutes and they both sunk in at the middle. So I'm not sure what that means, but that will be easy to fix with frosting and ganache. And we're gonna split them in half too. Okay, so I'm just taking another plate and flip them upside down and hopefully they just pop right out.